In the heart of faith, there lies a quest for authenticity, a yearning to reconnect with the wellspring of ancient wisdom. This is the journey of the Natsarim, a community tracing its roots back to the very dawn of biblical tradition. Often referred to as Nazarene Israelites, the Natsarim dedicate their lives to embodying the original teachings of the Torah, the sacred scriptures that guide their every step. Their commitment is unwavering, their faith deeply rooted in the covenant established between their forefathers and the divine. The Natsarim path is not simply a religion, but a way of life, a tapestry woven with threads of ancient customs and unwavering devotion. Their story is one of reverence for the past and a commitment to preserving the sanctity of their heritage. In a world often swept away by the currents of modernity, the Natsarim stand as steadfast guardians of a timeless covenant. They are keepers of the flame, their lives illuminated by the wisdom of the ages. Their journey is an inspiration, a testament to the enduring power of faith. They remind us that the whispers of ancient wisdom still echo in the hearts of those who seek truth and authenticity. In this journey, we explore the 6 books of Moses, including the often overlooked Book of Jubilees, which was removed from many traditions. The Natsarim beckon us to listen, to delve into the depths of our own spiritual heritage, and to rediscover the timeless truths that bind us to something greater than ourselves. Over the course of history, many sacred books were removed due to the influence of corrupt Roman and Babylonian paganistic systems. These texts expose the plans of these systems and the machinations of Satan, urging us to seek the truth that has been obscured. At the very core of the Natsarim faith lies the Torah, originally 6 books, including the Book of Jubilees, revered as the divine word of Yahuah. It is within these sacred scrolls that the Natsarim find the blueprint for their lives, a guidebook for navigating the complexities of existence and drawing closer to the divine. The Torah is not merely a collection of stories and commandments. It is a living testament to the covenant between Yahuah and his chosen people. For the Natsarim, every aspect of life is intrinsically linked to the teachings of the Torah. From the food they consume to the clothes they wear, from the way they observe the Sabbath to the festivals they celebrate, every action is infused with spiritual significance. The Natsarim understand that true fulfillment comes not from worldly pursuits, but from aligning oneself with the divine will as revealed in the Torah. Their unwavering adherence to the Torah is not out of blind obedience, but from a deep-seated love and reverence for the divine. They see the Torah as a precious gift, a roadmap to spiritual enlightenment and a life of purpose. Through meticulous study and heartfelt practice, the Natsarim strive to embody the teachings of the Torah in every facet of their lives. The Torah serves as a constant source of inspiration and guidance for the Natsarim, illuminating their path and reminding them of their sacred covenant with Yahuah. It is through the Torah that they connect with their ancestors, with the patriarchs and prophets who walked before them. And it is through the Torah that they hope to leave a legacy of faith and righteousness for generations to come. The Natsarim recognize Yahusha, known to many as Jesus, as a pivotal figure in their spiritual lineage. They believe that Yahusha, a devout Jew himself, lived in complete accordance with the Torah and upheld its teachings throughout his ministry. For the Natsarim, Yahusha's life serves as a powerful example of how to live out the principles of the Torah in a profound and meaningful way. They see Yahusha's teachings not as a departure from the Torah, but as a fulfillment of its deepest truths. He emphasized love, compassion, and justice, values deeply rooted in the Torah itself. The Natsarim believe that Yahusha came not to abolish the law, but to fulfill it, to breathe new life into its ancient wisdom and make it accessible to all. However, the Natsarim also recognize that over time, many religious traditions have strayed from the original teachings of Yahusha and the apostles. They believe that human interpretations and innovations have obscured the purity and simplicity of the original message. Therefore, the Natsarim strive to return to the source, to embrace the teachings of Yahusha and the apostles as they were originally intended, grounded in the bedrock of Torah observance. Their commitment to the original teachings is not about clinging to the past, but about rediscovering the timeless truths that transcend time and culture. The Natsarim believe that by returning to the roots of their faith, they can experience a deeper connection with the divine and live a life of greater purpose and meaning. In the intricate tapestry of Natsarim beliefs, dietary laws hold a place of profound significance. They are not merely a set of rules, but a way of life, a sacred dance between the physical and the spiritual. For the Natsarim, what they consume is intricately connected to their relationship with the divine, a tangible expression of their commitment to the covenant. The dietary laws outlined in the Torah serve as a constant reminder of their sacred duty to live in accordance with Yahuah's will. Each bite becomes an act of worship, a conscious choice to align themselves with the divine blueprint for living. Through the food they eat, or choose not to eat, the Natsarim demonstrate their reverence for the Creator and their desire to walk in His ways. But the significance of these laws extends far beyond simple obedience. They are a testament to the Natsarim's belief that holiness permeates every aspect of life, even the seemingly mundane act of eating. By adhering to the dietary guidelines set forth in the Torah, they strive to cultivate a state of inner purity, a sacred space within themselves where the divine can reside. The Natsarim understand that the food they consume has the power to nourish not only their bodies, but also their souls. It is through mindful eating, guided by the wisdom of the Torah, that they seek to cultivate a deeper connection with the divine and live a life of greater purpose and meaning. Section 2. Health and Holiness. The physical and spiritual benefits of pure eating. The Natsarim recognize the profound connection between physical health and spiritual well-being. They believe that the body is a temple, a sacred vessel entrusted to them by the Creator, and that it is their duty to care for it with the utmost respect. The dietary laws, therefore, are seen not only as spiritual directives, but also as practical guidelines for maintaining optimal health and vitality. Centuries before modern science began to unravel the complexities of nutrition, the Torah provided detailed instructions on which foods were considered clean and permissible for consumption, and which were deemed unclean and forbidden. The Natsarim believe that these guidelines, passed down through generations, were divinely inspired to promote physical well-being and prevent illness. For example, the Torah's prohibition against eating pork, often cited for its potential to harbor parasites, demonstrates an understanding of food safety principles that predate modern scientific knowledge. Similarly, the emphasis on consuming fresh fruits, vegetables, and whole grains aligns with contemporary nutritional advice for maintaining a healthy diet. The Natsarim's commitment to kosher slaughter methods, which emphasize swift and humane treatment of animals, further reflects their understanding of the interconnectedness between physical health and the ethical treatment of all living creatures. By adhering to these practices, they strive to ensure that the meat they consume is not only permissible, but also obtained in a way that honors the sanctity of life. Section 3. Obedience and Discipline. Cultivating a life of sacred alignment. Beyond the physical and spiritual benefits, the Natsarim view adherence to dietary laws as an act of obedience and discipline, essential qualities for spiritual growth. By choosing to deny themselves certain foods, they cultivate self-control and strengthen their resolve to follow the path set forth by the divine. Each time they refrain from consuming something forbidden, they reaffirm their commitment to the covenant and deepen their relationship with Yahuah. The act of denying oneself becomes a form of spiritual training, a way of tempering the will and aligning it with the divine will. This discipline extends beyond simply avoiding forbidden foods. It permeates their entire approach to eating. The Natsarim are mindful of their consumption, avoiding gluttony and excess. They view food as a gift from the Creator, to be received with gratitude and consumed with moderation. Through this disciplined approach to eating, the Natsarim cultivate a sense of self-mastery and strengthen their connection to the divine. They recognize that true freedom comes not from indulging every desire, but from aligning oneself with a higher purpose, and they find that purpose reflected in the sacred tapestry of the Torah. Section 1. The Distinction of Creatures, Unveiling the Dietary Laws of the Torah. The Torah, in its divine wisdom, draws a clear distinction between creatures deemed clean and those considered unclean for consumption. This intricate system of dietary laws, far from being arbitrary, reflects a profound understanding of the natural world and humanity's place within it. For the Natsarim, adhering to these laws is not merely a matter of religious observance. It is a sacred duty, a way of aligning themselves with the divine order of creation. The Torah's dietary guidelines are meticulously detailed, encompassing land animals, birds of the air, and creatures of the sea. Leviticus 11 and Deuteronomy 14 serve as the primary texts outlining these laws, providing specific criteria for determining which animals are permitted and which are forbidden. These criteria, passed down through generations, have shaped the Natsarim's dietary practices for millennia. The Natsarim approach these laws with reverence and a deep desire to understand their underlying principles. They believe that by studying the Torah and observing its precepts, they gain insights into the Creator's intentions and the intricate workings of the natural world. The act of discerning between clean and unclean animals becomes a form of spiritual practice, a way of connecting with the divine wisdom embedded in the very fabric of creation. For the Natsarim, adhering to these dietary laws is an act of faith and obedience, a tangible expression of their covenant with Yahuah. They believe that by consuming only those creatures deemed pure and permissible, they maintain a state of spiritual purity and sanctity, honoring the sacred vessel of their bodies. Section 2. Land animals. Deciphering the clues of hooves and cud. Among land animals, the Torah establishes a clear set of criteria for determining which creatures are considered clean and fit for consumption. Leviticus chapter 11 verse 3 states, "Whatever parts the hoof and is cloven-footed and chews the cud, among the animals you may eat." This seemingly simple statement encapsulates a profound understanding of animal physiology and its implications for human health and well-being. The Natsarim, in their meticulous adherence to the Torah's instructions, carefully examine the physical characteristics of land animals to determine their permissibility. Animals like cows, sheep, and goats, which possess both cloven hooves and the ability to chew the cud, are readily identifiable as clean and suitable for consumption. These animals are typically herbivorous, grazing on grasses and other vegetation, a diet the Natsarim believe contributes to their purity. Conversely, animals that lack one or both of these characteristics are deemed unclean and forbidden. Pigs, for example, while possessing cloven hooves, do not chew the cud and are therefore considered unfit for consumption. Similarly, camels, rabbits, and hares, though they may chew the cud, lack cloven hooves and are likewise deemed unclean. The Natsarim's meticulous observance of these dietary laws reflects their deep respect for the Creator's wisdom and their desire to live in harmony with the natural order. They believe that by consuming only those animals deemed clean, they participate in a sacred act, nourishing their bodies with food that is both physically and spiritually wholesome. Section 3. Aquatic Life. Navigating the waters of permitted seafood. The Torah's dietary guidelines extend beyond land animals to encompass the vast array of creatures inhabiting the world's oceans, lakes, and rivers. Leviticus chapter 11, verse 9 provides clear instructions regarding permissible seafood, stating, "These you may eat, of all that are in the water. Whatever has fins and scales, you may eat." This seemingly simple criterion serves as a guiding principle for the Natsarim, enabling them to navigate the complexities of the aquatic world with dietary adherence. Fish like salmon, tuna, and cod, possessing both fins for swimming and scales for protection, are readily identifiable as clean and permissible for consumption. These fish typically inhabit open waters, feeding on a diet of smaller fish and crustaceans. The Natsarim believe that their natural habitat and feeding habits contribute to their purity and make them suitable for human consumption. However, creatures that lack either fins or scales are strictly forbidden. Shellfish, such as crabs, lobsters, and shrimp, though considered delicacies in many cultures, are strictly avoided by the Natsarim due to their lack of scales. Similarly, eels, rays, and sharks, though possessing fins, lack the characteristic scales and are likewise deemed unclean. The Natsarim's meticulous adherence to these dietary laws demonstrates their deep respect for the Creator's wisdom and their understanding that the boundaries between clean and unclean serve a divine purpose. By consuming only those aquatic creatures deemed permissible, they align themselves with the natural order and maintain a state of spiritual purity. Section 4. Birds of the Air. Soaring above with dietary adherence. The Torah's dietary laws extend even to the birds of the air, providing specific guidelines for determining which species are considered clean and permissible for consumption. Leviticus chapter 11, verses 13 to 19, lists a number of birds that are explicitly forbidden, including birds of prey, scavengers, and those known for their unclean habits. While the Torah does not provide a positive definition of clean birds, it does offer clues and principles that the Natsarim rely on to make informed dietary choices. Generally, birds that are considered clean are those that are primarily herbivorous or granivorous, feeding on grains, seeds, and fruits. These birds are typically not predatory and are often associated with gentleness and peace. Examples of clean birds include doves, pigeons, chickens, and turkeys. These birds are often domesticated and have long been a staple of human diets in many cultures. Birds of prey, such as eagles, hawks, and owls, are strictly forbidden, as are scavengers like vultures and ravens. These birds are often associated with death and decay, and their feeding habits are seen as inherently unclean. The Torah's prohibition against consuming these birds reflects a deep understanding of the natural world and the potential for contamination through the food chain. The Natsarim's observance of these dietary laws regarding birds, though seemingly complex, stems from a profound respect for the Creator's wisdom and a desire to live in harmony with the divine order. By consuming only those birds deemed clean and permissible, they maintain a state of spiritual purity and honor the sacred covenant they have entered into. Central to the Natsarim's dietary observance is the strict prohibition against consuming blood in any form. This unwavering adherence stems from a deep-seated belief that blood represents the very essence of life, a sacred substance entrusted to humanity by the Creator. To consume blood, in the Natsarim view, is to transgress a divine boundary, to disrespect the sanctity of life itself. This prohibition is not merely a matter of dietary restriction. It is a fundamental tenet of their faith, woven into the very fabric of their relationship with the divine. The Torah repeatedly emphasizes the sacred nature of blood, declaring in Leviticus chapter 17, verse 11, "For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it for you on the altar to make atonement for your souls, for it is the blood that makes atonement by the life." This verse highlights the profound connection between blood and atonement, a concept central to Natsarim theology. They believe that the shedding of blood, particularly in the context of temple sacrifices, served as a means of atonement for sins, a way of restoring harmony between humanity and the divine. To consume blood, therefore, would be to undermine the very act of atonement, to desecrate something sacred and inviolable. The Natsarim's unwavering commitment to this prohibition reflects their deep reverence for life and their understanding of its sacred origins. They believe that by abstaining from blood, they honor the Creator's design and acknowledge the divine spark that animates all living creatures. The prohibition against consuming blood is not a mere cultural practice or a later addition to the Natsarim faith. It is deeply rooted in the scriptures, reiterated throughout the Torah, and reaffirmed in the teachings of the apostles. This continuity underscores the enduring significance of this prohibition, its timeless relevance for those seeking to live in accordance with the divine will. The earliest mention of the blood prohibition is found in Genesis chapter 9, verse 4. After the flood, when Yahuah establishes a covenant with Noah and his descendants, stating, "But you shall not eat flesh with its life, that is, its blood." This command, given to all humanity, highlights the universal nature of the prohibition, its applicability not only to the Israelites but to all who seek to honor the Creator and the sanctity of life. The Torah reiterates this prohibition numerous times, particularly in the books of Leviticus and Deuteronomy, where detailed dietary laws are outlined. Leviticus chapter 3 verse 17 states unequivocally, "It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations, in all your dwelling places, that you eat neither fat nor blood." This verse emphasizes the perpetual nature of the prohibition, its binding authority for all generations of Natsarim. Furthermore, the prohibition against consuming blood is not confined to the Torah. It is echoed in the teachings of the apostles, demonstrating its continued relevance for early followers of Yahusha. In Acts chapter 15, verse 20, the apostles, guided by the Holy Spirit, instruct Gentile believers to abstain from things polluted by idols, and from sexual immorality, and from what has been strangled, and from blood. This instruction, recorded in the New Testament, highlights the enduring significance of the blood prohibition for the early Christian community, its integral role in maintaining spiritual purity and unity among believers. Beyond its scriptural foundations, the prohibition against consuming blood holds profound symbolic significance for the Natsarim. It represents their commitment to purity, their reverence for life, and their recognition of the divine spark that resides within all living creatures. By abstaining from blood, they express their understanding of the sacredness of life and their desire to live in harmony with the Creator's design. The Natsarim view blood as a symbol of purity, a sacred substance that must be treated with the utmost respect. They believe that consuming blood would defile their bodies, the temples of the Holy Spirit, and hinder their spiritual growth. This emphasis on purity extends beyond the physical realm to encompass their thoughts, words, and deeds, as they strive to live lives that reflect the holiness of the Creator. Furthermore, the blood prohibition serves as a constant reminder of the sanctity of life and the reverence with which it should be treated. The Natsarim believe that all life is precious, a gift from the divine, and that to consume blood would be to disrespect the very essence of existence. This profound respect for life extends beyond humanity to encompass all living creatures, as they recognize the interconnectedness of all beings and their shared dependence on the Creator. Moreover, the Natsarim's abstention from blood reflects their belief in the divine spark that resides within all living creatures. They understand that life is not merely a biological process, but a sacred gift, imbued with a spark of the divine. To consume blood, in their view, would be to consume this divine essence, to disrespect the sacred boundary between Creator and creation. The Natsarim's unwavering adherence to the blood prohibition stands as a testament to their deep faith, their reverence for life, and their commitment to living in harmony with the divine order. the separation of meat and dairy, a culinary testimony to divine law. The Natsarim, in their meticulous adherence to the Torah's dietary laws, maintain a strict separation between meat and dairy products. This practice, deeply ingrained in their daily lives, is not merely a matter of culinary custom, but a profound expression of their commitment to divine law. It touches every aspect of their food preparation, consumption, and even the very structure of their kitchens, reflecting the pervasive nature of their faith. This separation is rooted in the Torah's command found in Exodus chapter 23, verse 19. You shall not boil a young goat in its mother's milk, and repeated in Exodus chapter 34, verse 26, and Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 21. While these verses may seem specific to a particular culinary practice, the Natsarim, through careful study and interpretation, understand them to represent a broader principle of separating meat and dairy in all its forms. This separation is meticulously observed in Natsarim homes, where kitchens often have designated areas, utensils, and even sinks for meat and dairy. Meals are carefully planned to avoid any combination of these two categories, with waiting periods observed between consuming meat and dairy products. This meticulousness, far from being burdensome, is embraced as a way of life, a tangible expression of their devotion to the divine will. The Natsarim's commitment to this practice reflects their deep respect for the Torah's teachings and their understanding that even seemingly mundane aspects of life, such as cooking and eating, can be infused with spiritual significance. By maintaining this separation, they transform their kitchens into spaces of sacred observance, where every meal becomes an act of obedience and a testament to their covenant with the Creator. The prohibition against mixing meat and dairy, while seemingly specific and perhaps even peculiar to some, is firmly rooted in the scriptural texts that form the bedrock of Natsarim faith. The Torah, in its wisdom, provides the foundation for this practice, and the Natsarim, through generations of careful study and interpretation, have developed a deep understanding of its significance and implications. As mentioned previously, the primary verses upon which this separation is based are found in Exodus chapter 23, verse 19, chapter 34, verse 26, and Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 21. While the exact interpretation of these verses has been a subject of debate among biblical scholars, the Natsarim, guided by their oral traditions and rabbinical interpretations, understand them to represent a broader principle of separating meat and dairy in all culinary contexts. They point to the repetition of this command in different contexts as evidence of its importance and its broader application beyond a single culinary practice. Furthermore, they draw upon commentaries and interpretations from respected rabbinical authorities throughout history who have consistently upheld the separation of meat and dairy as a fundamental aspect of Torah observance. For the Natsarim, the scriptural basis for this practice is unequivocal. It is a non-negotiable aspect of their faith, a testament to their unwavering commitment to upholding the divine law as revealed in the Torah. Their meticulous observance of this separation is not merely a matter of following rules, but a heartfelt expression of their love for the Creator and their desire to live in alignment with His will. Beyond its scriptural foundations, the separation of meat and dairy holds profound symbolic significance for the Natsarim. It represents their commitment to maintaining purity, their recognition of the distinctions within creation, and their deep respect for the natural order established by the Creator. Each act of separating these two categories of food becomes a symbolic act, a tangible reminder of these deeper spiritual principles. The concept of purity is central to Natsarim faith, permeating their dietary practices, rituals, and even their thoughts and intentions. By keeping meat and dairy separate, they believe they are upholding a higher standard of purity, avoiding a combination that is seen as inherently incompatible and potentially defiling. This commitment to purity extends beyond the physical realm, reflecting a desire to maintain spiritual and moral purity in all aspects of their lives. Furthermore, this practice symbolizes their recognition of the distinctions present within creation. Just as the Creator established boundaries between land and sea, day and night, so too did He create a distinction between animals used for meat and those that provide milk. By honoring this distinction in their culinary practices, the Natsarim acknowledge the Creator's wisdom and the inherent order present in the natural world. This separation also reflects their deep respect for the act of creation itself. The Torah describes the creation of animals as a deliberate and purposeful act of the Creator, with each creature given specific characteristics and roles within the grand tapestry of life. To combine meat and dairy, in the Natsarym view, would be to disrespect this divine design, to blur the lines between categories that were intentionally created as distinct. By maintaining this separation, they honor the Creator's handiwork and acknowledge the sacredness of the natural world. Section 4. Compassion and ethical considerations. Reflecting the divine attributes. The Natsarim's commitment to separating meat and dairy extends beyond purely ritualistic or symbolic interpretations. It is deeply intertwined with their values of compassion and their understanding of the ethical treatment of animals, reflecting their belief that the Creator's compassion should be emulated in their interactions with all living creatures. The prohibition against boiling a kid in its mother's milk, the verse upon which this separation is primarily based, can be interpreted as an act of compassion towards animals. It suggests a recognition of the maternal bond between a mother goat and her kid, and a rejection of any practice that would violate this natural relationship. This sensitivity towards the suffering of animals is further reflected in the Natsarim's adherence to kosher slaughter methods, which emphasize minimizing pain and ensuring a swift and humane death. By maintaining a clear separation between meat and dairy, the Natsarim believe they are upholding a higher ethical standard in their consumption of animal products. They are reminded that meat, representing the life of an animal, should be treated with respect and not casually combined with dairy, a product associated with nurturing and life-giving. This mindful approach to eating fosters a sense of gratitude for the sustenance provided and encourages a more compassionate and conscious relationship with the animal world. The Natsarim's dietary practices, therefore, are not merely a set of rules to be followed, but a reflection of their deepest values and beliefs. Through their meticulous observance of these laws, they strive to emulate the Creator's attributes of purity, compassion, and respect for all life, transforming even the simple act of eating into a profound expression of their faith. Section 1. Kosher Slaughter. A sacred covenant with life and death. In the realm of Natsarim dietary practice, the concept of kosher slaughter, known as shechita, occupies a place of profound significance. It is not merely a method of food preparation, but a sacred covenant with life and death, a recognition of the profound responsibility entrusted to humanity in taking the life of another creature. The Natsarim approach this act with reverence, guided by the Torah's teachings and a deep sense of compassion for all living beings. The very word shechita derives from the Hebrew root shachat, meaning to destroy or to render unfit. However, this seemingly harsh terminology belies the underlying principles of compassion and respect that govern the process. The Natsarim believe that taking a life, even for sustenance, should never be done casually or with indifference. It is a solemn act, to be approached with humility and a recognition of the sacredness of life itself. The Torah, in Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 21, states, "You shall slaughter from your herd and from your flock, which the Lord has given you, as I have commanded you, and you shall eat within your gates, whatever your appetite desires." This verse, while granting permission to consume meat, also establishes the boundaries within which this consumption is permissible, emphasizing the importance of adhering to the divinely ordained methods. For the Natsarim, kosher slaughter is not merely about following a set of rules, but about engaging in a sacred act that honors both the life that is taken and the sustenance it provides. It is a practice that connects them to their ancestors, to the very heart of their covenant with the Creator, and serves as a constant reminder of their responsibility to act with compassion and reverence in all their interactions with the natural world. Section 2. The role of the shoshay, a blend of skill, knowledge, and reverence. Central to the practice of kosher slaughter is the role of the shoshay, a highly trained and spiritually observant individual entrusted with the sacred duty of taking an animal's life in accordance with Jewish law. The shoshay's role is not one to be taken lightly. It demands a unique blend of skill, knowledge, and reverence, a deep understanding of both the technical aspects of the process and its profound spiritual significance. Becoming a shoshay requires years of rigorous study and apprenticeship under the guidance of experienced mentors. The aspiring shoshay must demonstrate mastery of Jewish law as it pertains to shechita, including a thorough understanding of the anatomy of animals, the permissible methods of slaughter, and the meticulous inspection of the animal's internal organs after slaughter to ensure its fitness for consumption. Beyond technical expertise, the shoshay must also possess a deep sense of piety and reverence for life. They understand that their role is not merely a technical one, but a sacred duty, a privilege, and a burden that must be approached with humility and compassion. The shoshay acts as a conduit between the realms of the sacred and the mundane, transforming an act of necessity into a moment of spiritual connection. The Natsarim hold the shoshay in high regard, recognizing the weight of their responsibility and the spiritual gravity of their task. They understand that the shoshay's actions have profound implications, not only for the physical act of providing food, but also for the spiritual well-being of the community. The shoshay, through their skill, knowledge, and reverence, ensures that the consumption of meat remains a sacred act, a testament to the Natsarim's covenant with the Creator and their commitment to living in harmony with the divine will. Section 3. The process unveiled, ensuring swiftness and minimizing suffering. The process of kosher slaughter is designed to be as swift and painless as possible for the animal, minimizing suffering and reflecting the Natsarim's deep respect for the sanctity of life. Every step in the process, from the sharpening of the knife to the examination of the animal's internal organs, is governed by specific rules and regulations aimed at ensuring both the humane treatment of the animal and the fitness of the meat for consumption. The slaughter itself is performed using a shalaf, a razor-sharp knife that is meticulously inspected before each use to ensure its blade is perfectly smooth and free from any nicks or imperfections. The shoshay, with a single swift stroke, severs the trachea and esophagus of the animal, resulting in immediate unconsciousness and a rapid loss of blood pressure. This method, according to Jewish law, minimizes the animal's suffering and ensures a quick and relatively painless death. Following the slaughter, the animal's internal organs are carefully examined for any signs of disease or abnormalities that would render the meat unfit for consumption. This meticulous inspection, known as bedika, is a crucial aspect of kosher slaughter, ensuring that only healthy and wholesome meat is consumed. The Natsarim's commitment to these detailed practices reflects their deep understanding of the interconnectedness between the physical and the spiritual. They believe that the manner in which an animal is slaughtered can have a profound impact on the quality of the meat and, ultimately, on the spiritual well-being of those who consume it. By adhering to the strict guidelines of kosher slaughter, they strive to ensure that the meat they consume is not only permissible according to Jewish law, but also obtained in a way that honors the life of the animal and reflects their reverence for the act of creation. Section 4. A timeless tradition, upholding ancient wisdom in a modern world. In a world often characterized by mass production and a disconnect from the origins of our food, the Natsarim's commitment to kosher slaughter stands as a powerful testament to the enduring wisdom of ancient traditions. Their meticulous adherence to these practices, passed down through generations, serves as a counter-narrative to the anonymity and often harsh realities of industrial farming. The Natsarim's approach to shechita is a stark contrast to the impersonal and often inhumane methods employed in many modern slaughterhouses. Their emphasis on swiftness, minimizing suffering, and meticulous inspection reflects a deep respect for the lives of animals that is often absent in large-scale agricultural practices. By upholding these ancient traditions, the Natsarim are not clinging to the past, but actively engaging in a more compassionate and sustainable approach to food production. Furthermore, the Natsarim's commitment to kosher slaughter serves as a powerful reminder of the spiritual dimension inherent in our relationship with food. In a world where food is often reduced to a mere commodity, the Natsarim's practices invite us to consider the origins of our sustenance, the life that was given to sustain our own, and the responsibility we have to treat all creatures with respect and compassion. The Natsarim's unwavering adherence to kosher slaughter, therefore, is not merely a matter of religious observance, but a profound statement about their values, their ethics, and their understanding of humanity's place within the natural order. It is a practice that connects them to their ancestors, to the very heart of their faith, and serves as a beacon of compassion and reverence in a world often characterized by indifference and exploitation. Section 1. A tapestry of faith and obedience. The enduring significance of Natsarim dietary practices. The Natsarim, with their unwavering adherence to Torah-based dietary laws, offer a glimpse into a world where faith permeates every aspect of life, even the seemingly mundane act of eating. Their practices, far from being archaic or irrelevant, stand as a testament to the enduring power of ancient wisdom and the profound connection between the physical and the spiritual. Each bite becomes an act of obedience, a conscious choice to align themselves with the divine blueprint for living, transforming their meals into moments of sacred communion with the Creator. From the careful selection of permitted animals to the meticulous separation of meat and dairy, the Natsarim demonstrate a level of mindfulness and intentionality often absent in our modern relationship with food. They remind us that food is not merely fuel for the body, but a gift from the divine, to be received with gratitude and consumed with reverence. Their dietary practices, rooted in scriptural commands and illuminated by centuries of tradition, serve as a constant reminder of their covenant with Yahuah and their commitment to living in harmony with His will. The Natsarim's dedication to these practices, despite the challenges they may present in a modern world, speaks volumes about the depth of their faith and the transformative power of living in accordance with divine law. They understand that true freedom comes not from indulging every desire, but from aligning oneself with a higher purpose, from recognizing the sacredness inherent in even the most ordinary aspects of life. Their example invites us to examine our own relationship with food, to consider the origins of our sustenance, and to approach the act of eating with a renewed sense of mindfulness and gratitude. The Natsarim's dietary practices, far from being restrictive, offer a path to greater spiritual awareness, reminding us that even in the simple act of sharing a meal, we have the opportunity to connect with the divine and to nourish not only our bodies, but also our souls. Section 2. Guardians of a timeless covenant, preserving ancient wisdom for future generations. The Natsarim, in their steadfast commitment to Torah observance, stand as guardians of a timeless covenant, preserving ancient wisdom and traditions for future generations. In a world often swept away by the currents of modernity, they serve as a beacon of continuity, reminding us of the enduring relevance of scriptural teachings and the importance of honoring our spiritual heritage. Their communities, often tucked away from the hustle and bustle of modern life, become sanctuaries of ancient practice, where the rhythms of life are still guided by the cycles of the moon and the seasons, where ancient prayers and rituals are passed down from one generation to the next. The Natsarim understand that their way of life is not merely about preserving the past, but about ensuring that the wisdom of their ancestors continues to illuminate the path for generations to come. The Natsarim's dedication to education is paramount in their efforts to preserve their heritage. Children are immersed in Torah study from a young age, learning the Hebrew language, the intricacies of Jewish law, and the rich history of their people. This emphasis on education ensures that the flame of their traditions continues to burn brightly, passed on from one generation to the next with care and reverence. The Natsarim's commitment to their covenant is not without its challenges. In a world that often values assimilation and conformity, they face pressure to abandon their distinctive practices and embrace the dominant culture. Yet they remain steadfast in their beliefs, understanding that their way of life is not a burden, but a precious gift, a sacred inheritance to be cherished and preserved for the benefit of all humanity. Section 3. A Beacon of Authenticity. Inspiring a return to spiritual roots. In a world often saturated with superficiality and a yearning for something more, the Natsarim, through their unwavering commitment to authenticity, offer a compelling example of what it means to live a life of deep spiritual conviction. Their practices, rooted in ancient wisdom and untouched by the ebb and flow of trends, serve as a beacon, calling out to those who seek a more meaningful and purposeful existence. The Natsarim's dedication to living in accordance with their beliefs, even when it sets them apart from the mainstream, speaks to a deep-seated longing for authenticity that resonates with many. In a world where identity is often fluid and superficial, their unwavering commitment to their faith and their traditions stands out as a testament to the power of living in alignment with one's core values. Their example invites us to examine our own lives, to ask ourselves whether we are living in accordance with our deepest truths or simply conforming to the expectations of others. The Natsarim's way of life, though not without its challenges, offers a compelling vision of what it means to live with intention, to embrace a life of purpose and meaning, guided by something greater than ourselves. The Natsarim, through their unwavering faith, their meticulous observance of ancient laws, and their dedication to preserving their heritage, offer a powerful message to a world in search of meaning and authenticity. They remind us that true fulfillment is found not in the pursuit of fleeting pleasures, but in aligning ourselves with something timeless and enduring, in rediscovering the spiritual roots that ground us and give our lives purpose. Their example, though seemingly distant from the complexities of modern life, holds within it a timeless wisdom that can inspire us all to seek a deeper connection with the divine and to live lives of greater meaning and purpose.